Hello there, and good morning. News is emerging that the government has ordered the shutdown of all UK no-deal Brexit planning. This development is just further proof that the UK establishment is intent on reversing Brexit completely. Now that our politicians have managed to extend Brexit far enough into the future to force the UK to hold MEP elections without any visible signs of public disapproval, they now obviously feel that it is time to manage our re-entry into the EU mainstream and accept our position as an assimilated part of the European Union. But please take a moment to consider that businesses had less than 48 hours notice that they wouldn't be facing the no-deal scenario, something that they had been planning for. Surely, if the WTO Brexit was that awful to contemplate, there'd have been far more outcry than there was in this last week. Where were the convoys of white vans descending on Downing Street to demand that no deal was stopped? Where were the battalions of business owners with dry order books marching through Whitehall? No, as usual, the area was full of EU flags and the few usual suspects. And I can't believe that if all businesses were as worried as people claim, that they would just sit back and rely on the Letwin Cooper Act or on the government to get an extension out of the EU. Anyway, it's happened. But I don't think many people are quite hoisting in how important UK involvement in the upcoming EU Parliament elections is in this psychological war on Brexit. What would your response have been if someone had told you 2 years or even 1 year ago that we'd be holding these elections? Most people would have said it would be stupidly unthinkable for any government to even consider such a thing in the face of the referendum result. And the timing of our exit was all geared on leaving at the end of this EU parliamentary session. It all looked so neat and tidy. So the establishment had to somehow bridge that gap, as no EU elections means no remaining in the EU. So it had to force the people at large to accept that crossing over into the next EU parliamentary session was unavoidable, acceptable even. The establishment is trying to make it look like it has clean hands. And it also has to look like there was a way to prevent EU elections happening as long as we signed up to this vassal state treaty withdrawal agreement in time. They worked at it and they managed it. So hold the EU elections we will, and MEPs we shall have. Our MPs and peers have all now gone on holiday, and when they return to Westminster, there will be insufficient time and absolutely no inclination to get the legislation through to ratify Theresa May's deal before the elections on the 23rd of May. And in the meantime, all no-deal Brexit preparations have been halted, with what is being reported as immediate effect. Deputy Chairman of the Tory Eurosceptic European Research Group, Steve Baker, said that this had been done out of spite. And his fellow Tory Brexiteer MP, Owen Paterson, said that if reports last night are correct that the government has wound up its no-deal planning at this crucial juncture, that would be stupidity verging on sabotage. Verging on sabotage? And Tory MP for Reigate, Crispin Blunt, tweeted that this would be a confidence matter for him, which means he would vote against his own government in a vote of no confidence should this be true. And added, no deal is not just a matter for UK, unless PM has decided to revoke. Some would say that the PM hasn't just this minute possibly decided to revoke. The truth is she never ever intended to leave in the first place. Now the trouble for the two main parties though is this joint betrayal of the voters is damaging both their parties. The Tories will no doubt be out and about trying to disconnect May's performance in Westminster from the local elections to try and get their local councillors elected on the 2nd of May, while also trying to connect Corbyn's Marxist performance in Westminster with Labour council candidates. while Labour will be there trying to convince people their ideas on Brexit are exactly the same as the person they are talking to at the time. So please vote for my council candidate, they'll say. Ignore them both and vote UKIP. And if UKIP is not on the ballot paper, either vote for an independent or spoil your paper by writing UKIP across it. Let's kick them in the ballot box. Anyway, please share and comment, and thanks for watching.